Okay, well, welcome everybody. It is now shortly after 4 o'clock, and I will call this LTAC meeting on September 8th, 2021 to order. We will start with having our city manager. We're going to talk a little bit about the financial structure that we have going forward for this year, and Scott will bring us up to speed on some of those items.
When Councilor Miller, can you ask for approval of the minutes for August 3rd, 2021?
Oh, sorry about that. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for August, our last meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I so move.
Is there any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you for that.
So sorry, just for the record. So Chad, you made the first and then seconded by Ruth.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, perfect. So if I understood Councilmember Miller right, will probably be helpful just to kind of give a quick check-in on where we think our estimated revenues for LTAC funds for 2022 to help prepare the decision process for next year. And so we have Troy Wu to provide that information.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm gonna share a quick screen here. Okay, so you've seen this format before. Is this large enough for everyone to see?
Pretty good.
Okay, so we'll focus here on the 2022 column, which is column L here. The projection for revenues hasn't changed since your last meeting. So between the projected tax of $400,634 and about $5,400 in interest, total revenue projection for next year is just over $406,000. And when you compare that to the entirety of the requests within your packet, that total is $631,929, which is a shortfall of just under $226,000. But I do want to remind the committee, hopefully this changes tabs. Did that change tabs for you all?
Mm-hmm.
Here is a snapshot of the cash balance at the end of last year, so December 31st, 2020. We do have some committed reserves that the committee's talked about for a number of years, but the available cash balance was just over $353,000. So in theory, you could award 100% of the applications and cover the shortfall in cash. I'll go back to the first sheet. I also do think that this number could potentially be higher. We actually had a couple good months. In fact, the receipts from July exceeded the 2019 July tax receipts. Not by a lot, but that's to say that, we were pretty close to the pre-pandemic levels. If you look at the August receipts, we were just shy of the 2019 number. We're about 95% of that level. So at least prior to July, we were reaching a level of normalcy. But of course, the pandemic has kind of taken a grip on us again, and July and August could change. So it's the reason I've kept conservative with next year's number, even though the numbers that we've last seen were more positive. But we could certainly see a reduction in those revenues just because of what's happening out there in the world right now. And so it's a conservative approach, but potentially more. But again, I think between the projection and cash reserves, you could theoretically fund every request. And turn it back to you for any questions you might have.
So everybody got a chance to look at the packet with all the applications in it?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. are there any applications that you see that we'll want to revisit as opposed to making some decisions on them today?
Definitely.
Okay. And you guys understand we're not here to actually technically make decisions today, but we do want to review these asks and make some considerations. I was working off the table, the awards table with the color coded table. If you guys got a copy of that, working off that. I didn't see was there an updated one that was?
There was. Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
If that will help. Give me a thumbs up when you can see that. Okay. So just in quick summary, we did do a quick update. We had some 2020 awards that were actually transposed from 2019. So it gives a better or accurate picture.
Scott, can you bring that up to like 110% or so?
Absolutely. How's that?
It's better.
So I'm going to scroll down, which is going to be a little bit maybe not the best visual, but so we have three different colors on this chart. We have basically a blue, which shows that they've either been a past recipient and they are asking for equal or less than they did in 2020. We have kind of a rust color or orange, depending on how your screen shows it, as showing that it's a past recipient, but it's an increase. And then we have green for brand new request of LTAC funds in the past. So all totaled, we had 19 applications that submitted. I do need to bring to the committee's attention one specifically from the American Lung Association. If you look at the actual application, we didn't receive it until September 1. So we've had to deal with this before, as you know, that the August 31st was the deadline for applications. So I would ask the committee if you want to act on that in terms of being considered as part of the applications, or do you take the perspective that they didn't make the application, so therefore they will not be considered as part of the funding for 2022? So it'd be maybe a first question I have for the committee. And I can stop.
I think we need to be consistent.
And just for full disclosure, you may recall in the past, we have had a situation where even the city missed the deadline. There were some circumstances, but we did ask the committee what the pleasure of the committee was. And I think at that time they agreed to move it forward. So I just want to be consistent with what we've done in the past.
We appreciate that, Scott. Ruth, we have Ruth's vote. Anybody else?
I would say I move forward.
Okay, so Ruth says cut them.
I would also
says,
say I'd also
Chad's-
say cut them.
Okay, Susanna, do you have a preference?
I would say it's a go for me and
Keep them or cut them?
keep it.
Okay, so
So I'm against, I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just
Yeah.
I get to be the deciding vote.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're 2 for keep them, 1 for cut them.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. It is the other way. 2 for cut them, 1 for keep them.
Okay.
Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, so maybe there should be a motion from one of the committee members that either decides they should remain in consideration or they should be left out due to the missing the deadline. And if there's a second, then you could take a formal vote.
Can I ask a question, a clarifying question first? Was it date stamped? Was it mailed and it just didn't get into the mail, or was it an email? That would help me make my determination.
Sure, let me share a screen here.
Thank you. I want to be hard no before I get the facts.
So more than likely they mailed it. So this is when we actually received it, which was, I don't know if you can see my screen at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look in your packet, we have anytime we open the mail, we stamp it when it's received by us. So we didn't receive it until September 1, although it was mailed August 31st. So the question the committee has to sort of debate, if you will, if you look at the application instructions, it says the deadline was the 31st. So this is almost like the IRS. IRS accepts a postmark of their April 15th. You could make an argument that the postmark met the deadline, but we didn't actually physically receive the application until the 1st.
Okay,
Does that help, Chad?
Yeah.
That does help me. I would say, I would change and say to keep it, because it appears that if it did come in by mail, then it would have been mailed by that date and stamped the next day.
I agree.
So is there a motion from the committee and then there could be a vote?
I move that we accept the application, being that it was mailed on the 31st.
Second.
And I would second that. Or if Malcolm, Councilman member, sorry, it's been a long day. Whew.
It's been moved and seconded. And is there any discussion? Seeing none, that passes. So we will keep the American Lung Association, and hopefully next year they will get their application in a timely manner. Now, we all remember that the application window this year was, I don't think it was as long as previous years.
It's true.
Or was it as long?
I think it was as long, but I think in fairness to the committee, we will put more specific instructions, what's acceptable. Is it a postmark versus actually physically receiving it? So, but again, we'll consider for this year based on the committee's recommendation, and you can continue your deliberation.
So we will consider their ask and their requests. We got a lot to go through here. And I know that we're not going to make it through every single application today. Otherwise, we'd probably be here till who knows how late. There are some standard asks and things that we've funded in the past and are kind of our staple, things that we are consistently doing, like the museum and the rack and the VCB is back. There are a couple of these that I want to, it appears as though all of our ones that we normally have an increase. And so those with an increase, I'd like to have further deliberation on. Those without an increase, I would move that we, say that we can, potentially fund those and get those off the table.
Okay, can I make a suggestion, or just something that I have observed is in the 2021, so when we went through the process, we did grant some increases, but they weren't awarded. Does that make sense?
Yep.
People had asked them, so we had said, yeah, you can get that increase, and we had gone through the whole yes or no. And so I don't know who those are for sure. And would that help us? And I was looking for that information because, well, I know from Funfair alone, because we had some additional expenses, that we were granted the $12,000, but we didn't use that.
Okay.
Or, we asked for an increase. I guess we were awarded in 2020. I guess I'm confused. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
And one thing
So-
that, and I was gonna say, Councilman Miller, one thing that worked really well for us last year or the year before was we went around and did, like, if we all had ones that we wanted to pull, that actually made it faster.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you want to consider for this round as well.
That is something that I want to consider, because I want to be considerate of your guys' time. But I also want to, do what this committee is designed to do, which is inject some fun into the community. And Scott.
So just maybe for the benefit of the committee, in 2021, because as you remember, we were in the midst of obviously the first wave of COVID, we agreed not to accept new applications. We only agreed, or the committee agreed, to fund specific LTAC projects. And those are more considered like organizations like the VCB, the Chamber, the RAC, those type of things. We didn't do any events or festivals per se. I will note on your sheets, last year VCB received an award of 100,000 because we combined the 80 with the 20. I mean, their current ask is more than the 100,000, but I just want to point that out, just to, we consolidated that.
And Scott,
Right.
the 80 that was combined with the 20 was for a sister organization. The 20 was for what again?
So the 20 was for the sports commission activities specifically, and then the 80,000 was for VCB in general to continue their activities for tourism as a organization as a whole.
Right, because the sports commission wasn't going to make it and it got lumped into the VCB funds.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up, we
Correct.
Yeah,
That's how you get to 100,000.
all right. And this year we're at 119,429. So I'll want to revisit that one for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Wu?
If it pleases the committee, I could maybe provide a visual of 2020's adopted
Sure.
budget, and then that might be a good comparison for who has asked for increases and who hasn't.
Thank you.
So this should be coming up as I shrunk down the spreadsheet that I just showed you. So what you have in column E is the adopted budget. So pre-COVID, what was adopted, what we expected to happen against the current requests. I filled in this column, which is past recipients, no change or less. So to kind of give you a visual, so you have the chamber, Lacey Fun Fairs, senior games, the cultural celebration, the Broads, Brews and Bands, which is actually a decrease from 2020's original award. You have the 3rd of July, and you have the Lacey Museum are your applicants that have received money in the past and have a equal or less ask for 2022.
Okay. And with that list, are you guys comfortable with removing those items from the discussion, or do you want to review those as well?
I am comfortable with, let's see. The only one that I get really confused about, and I've mentioned this before, is I think we're paying a lot of money to promote tourism in Lacey through both the chamber and the VCB. And so if you say that's, let's see, let's just say VCB 100,000 now and chamber 70,000, that's $170,000 worth to promote. That's a lot of money.
And that
But-
doesn't even cover all of it, Ruth.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know, the chamber ask this year alone is over 100.
Yeah, I know.
This is just a portion of
Mhm.
the things that we're going to visit.
Yeah.
So then,
So
if-
maybe the events and or whatever they are that aren't like the chamber and the VCB.
okay,
Does that make sense?
I can
Because,
understand that.
yeah,
So we'll leave the chamber and the VCB on the table, but remove the events like the fun fair and the games for the seniors and the cultural celebration and the beer
Right.
brats, and who are actually asking for less money.
Right.
And then the fireworks,
right.
it looks like
Okay.
the museum and the Huntermer Park concert series. We'll remove those from the discussion. And as they are a standard ask, they're not asking for more. In fact, in one case, they're asking for less.
Mhm.
And they do bring fun and tourism to the city.
Right.
Okay. So
Troy?
then-
I would also be comfortable with that as well. Troy, would you be willing to, or can we get this document sent to us following this meeting? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we trim that out, then we have some other ones that we need to discuss. And I'm not sure that we have to, come to a consensus today, in beginning to discuss these things. So honestly, once we jump in, I'm not sure how far we'll make it. But we're gonna do just that. And so it looks like we're gonna be starting with Capitol Lake Fair.
So they doubled their increase.
Well, actually, you guys, hold on a second. I'm sorry. And I say that because they're not all necessarily in the order of the spreadsheet that we have. And so when you go through your packet, the first one you're going to see is the City of Lacey for, I think it's banners or so in an attempt to not have you scrolling this way and then that way and then this way and then that way to catch up to whatever we, are on in the moment, maybe we can just start at the top of the ask list as they're presented in application form. Does
Good
that
idea.
make sense?
Yep, totally.
Okay.
I also took page numbers of the PDF, so if you wanted to go out of order, I can tell you what they are quickly. So like, however, yeah, I wrote them all down. That's just, so like 68 is the first Lake Fair, if you wanted to go off the top of your list.
Are you guys in a position to be able to just dial up a page, or
No.
is it, are you
Yes.
scrolling like me?
Yeah, let's go.
You're scrolling, okay.
And in the bottom center of your screen, you can actually type in the page number if you want to do that. So
On my iPad?
you should be able to on, I'm looking at it on my iPad. There's a bottom page bar for me.
You must have the iPad Pro.
I do.
Oh, okay. I've got a city iPad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We need to
okay.
upgrade your technology, my friend.
It
Okay,
does.
we
it
can
does pretty
go.
well.
I'm prepared to go
Okay.
whatever order you want to go in. It works.
Okay, well, let's use the order of it. We have the agenda version.
Okay.
Mhm.
On top of that, it appears to be page 4, is the first ask of City of Lacey. It looks like $10,000 for banners to be placed that are going to promote people attending events.
Mhm.
Appears to be the goal.
Yeah, and it appears to just promote Lacey and what they have to offer. So I like this. And I think it's so $10,000 well spent.
It appears as though for the $10,000 we'll get at least 70 banners and all the hardware that goes with them.
Right.
And I don't know if that absorbs also the cost of, installation, putting them up. But the numbers seem fairly reasonable. I was looking at the, there was guys putting up the flags this past week
Yeah.
on College Street. You saw them. And I was looking at the hardware that is wrapped around those poles to determine whether that hardware was worth $68. Because I saw the cost built in.
Uh-huh.
Shannon
Yeah.
did a good job of building that in there.
My only question that I have, are these going to be generic banners, like the examples that say like food festival? Are they promoted for like when we get closer to the fun fair? So I'm comfortable with the cost. The cost doesn't bother me at all. I would just like to know, how often are we changing them out? How do they promote general tourism? Is it going to be like promoting some of them that are near the hub? Is it going to say, here's the hub, or is it defining? I'd like to know more. Is it defining areas of our city? Is it what, those are the questions that I have. Funding wise, dollar amount. Yeah, it's a no brainer. And I think it's great. I just want to know how these are going to be utilized.
Are you saying that you would like to have Shannon come and present, or?
I would love Shannon to come present,
Okay.
just to tell us a little bit more.
All right.
It's not that we're against the idea.
I just want to
Right.
know more.
You just
Mhm.
want to be more in love with it. Is that? Well, in her description, she says that the plan is to feature a wide array of local activities, experiences to help enhance and promote tourism within the city. The banners will feature local activities, including outdoor
Right.
parks, food and retail experiences, and more. So I think what she's trying to get across here is that whatever we're doing, she is going to promote.
So let's ask for this. Let's ask for a mock-up. I'd like to see a mock-up of what one would look like. I think
Well,
that's
she included those on the last. couple-
she included them
What?
for
For Portland.
generic, yeah, for Portland, but I want to see what, when we talk city specific events, give
Mhm.
me a mock-up of what something is going to look like for the city of Lacey that matches the description. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, if she can, we can request it and we'll see what she comes up with. She put in examples from the cities of Anacortes, Snohomish, the Tulalip Festival.
Yeah, I see those examples.
Yeah.
I just want to see how it ties into promoting the events that are happening in Lacey.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, well, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask her to come to a meeting. She probably would have been to this one.
And it doesn't need to be a big presentation.
not
Yeah.
at all.
All right, moving on. Lacey Parks Cultural and Recreation are asking for the July 3rd fireworks at Rainier Vista Park to be held July 3rd of 2022. Have you guys been to this event?
Yes,
I've been to this event. I can see this event from my house.
yeah, no, this is, so there, let's see.
Yeah, this is one of the groups that was identified as the same amount as was in 2020.
Okay. And they have more than us as funding partners. So we are less than
Mhm.
half of what they're needing.
Right,
All right. And if we get to another one that was on our list of take that off the table, just remind me, please.
You bet.
Yeah. I want to be careful with you guys' time. Moving on, we have this one is, I believe, on the list too. For the Lacey Cultural Celebration for the
Right.
9,000.
Right.
We can bypass that one. Okay. This one is on the list too. The Huntermore Park.
That's correct.
Okay. Have you guys been to any of the Huntermore Park events?
yes,
Yes. Lots and lots of people like the Huntermore Park events.
yeah, they do.
The next one appears to be also one of on our list. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Lacey Museum one.
That is correct.
Mhm.
By the way, we have had some updates on the new Lacey Museum. Some of the groundwork is starting to be done over there.
Yeah,
Drive past it every day.
Yeah, there's a food truck court. Okay, next, this is also on our list. Spring Fun Fair.
That's correct.
I don't know that I've been to the Spring Fun Fair.
oh my God,
Tell me that I've been there and didn't know that I was there because it
Okay.
was there and I went to and did whatever.
Scott, can you talk to him about that? We have Scott, pictures of Scott from when he first came to Lacey.
I'm sure Councilmember Miller was there. He just didn't recall. I'm sure he
I
was
just
there.
didn't know that that was the name of it,
Okay, okay.
but it
We'll
was,
get you some slack.
it was where? Was it in Huntsville Park?
No, it was
St. Martin's
fine.
University.
It was at St. Mark, okay. Okay, moving on. The next one we have is the Regional
I'm gonna-
Athletic
Hey,
Complex. The rack,
Yeah.
So the RAC is asking for an increase this year.
an increase.
Mhm.
We have the RAC come in and present.
That would be our Parks and Rec
Right.
manager, Jen Burbidge.
Yes.
You guys want to see Jen before us? Is that what you're, what's that?
Or Sue. I think Sue.
I think Sue's on the list.
Is it Sue who's doing
Or
the
the
asking?
app.
Others, yeah.
And I think just give us an overview. I think the RAC is one of our aces, you know, and I'm not opposed to giving them an increase, but I just think that to be consistent, we need to talk.
Okay.
What do we want to ask her?
I'd
You know,
go ahead.
no, you go first.
I'm actually scrolling right now, so you go ahead and go
Okay.
first. I will find
Alright.
my question. I'm scrolling to that one.
All right. Okay. So I know that that the RAC is eventually supposed to become self-sufficient, or a little more, you know. Was there a goal or a plan to where the RAC would?
I would argue when we first set out, we had hoped it would be self-sufficient. I think the numbers bear out the fact that it's more of a 60-40. It's about 40% revenue generation, maybe sometimes a little bit less. But I think also council had a recent discussion and recognized that it also acts as a general park also. So it's not just sports activities, it also serves a larger population.
Gotcha.
I would like to know specifically what the increase is going towards. I guess I can't find that in my notes. This is the problem with not having the binders where I actually can write on the pages. So
Okay. So we'll have Sue come in.
hop on in there, Susanna.
I was just looking at previous notes and I noticed that at one point they mentioned that their building fees are shared with the VCB. And that also, I know they collaborate in site sales with VCB as well. So I just don't know what that looks like based on what they provided as far as numbers. So I just thought it doesn't really show me anything on there. What exactly is VCB paying them, how much and whatnot.
I feel like that's something annually that we talk about. So we probably should get that clarification. See if we can get a better clarification on that.
So how did the VCB and RAC kind of coincide in terms of their budget? Where are we overlapping?
And are we overlapping, or is it going to two different specific needs?
Mhm.
Gotcha. Last year we did 160 with them, and well,
And I read where she hasn't asked for an increase since 2017. So,
I feel like Shauna asked for an increase in 2019.
but this is the RAC.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
you know, I was looking at their numbers, and you know, they list their top 5 revenue sources. We don't even make their top 5. Well, I guess they've got 3 on here. I guess we would be the 4th.
Or the 5th. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll ask them to give us 5 minutes presentation wise.
Yeah.
And they actually attached their, what appears to be the budget. They're pretty open with us. That's good. VCB of Thurston County, Experience Olympia and Beyond.
Did we skip Capital Lake Fair?
I hope not.
Should be page 68. I went from 59, which was the rack, to 68, which is Lake Fair, to 98, which is VCB.
So
I'm on-
that was the amended one that was sent out. And I guess I'm looking on the old one too.
Yeah, mine, on page 68 is VCB.
You are correct. It is an amendment. It's the amended one. We added
We-
Capital Lake there. So
Oh,
that is now the new order. So you're
which one-
both right. So you're all right. But Chad is correct in the sense that the amended agenda has the Capital Fair
Yeah,
as the next item.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay, where do I need to pull that up just real quick if I,
Looks like it's Adam Stilts and it's an increase of $7,000, if I'm looking at this correct.
no, I mean, if I'm gonna go off of the one that you're looking at,
Oh, sorry, sir.
I need to first be able to pull it up. Oh,
so this,
okay, no, I tried to open that and my corporate software blocked it, sorry. That's,
okay, they're asking for 14,000 and we gave them before
So 7.
six, I think. Say, was it 6, Troy?
It's like 7,000.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it looks like it was in 2020, it was 7,000 and they're asking for 14. And I would like to also know what the increase is, what the increase is for. And if I'm correct, there was no Lake Fair in 2021.
No, there was 20 or 21. But I would, yeah, and I'd like to know how they plan to promote Lacey.
that's 2 years without Lake Fair?
Yeah,
So they.
and this year they canceled at the last minute. They were gonna have it.
Yeah, it looks like the increase is due to loss in revenue across the board. We are needing to rely on and or additional sources of income to recoup some of the loss and begin to rebuild. But that doesn't tell me how it's going to, yeah, that's same as Ruth's question. How is that going to promote Lacey?
Yeah,
So that is definitely worthy of an ask to come in and at least 5 minutes to talk.
and because I believe before they said, the money was going towards banners that would have Lacey, Olympia and Tumwater on them and all that. Well, now what is the additional money? And how is that going to benefit us? Lacey,
Right. Absolutely. Okay. So Capital Lake Fair. How many are we up to? 1, 2,
I show 1, 2, 3. This is 3, number
I've
3.
got 3.
Okay.
mhm.
Are we at VCB now?
Yes. Great. Yes, we are.
Okay. And VCB has up there asked to 119,429. It's a very specific number.
Yeah,
I'm not
It's-
seeing,
It's a new executive director. I have not met yet. I would love to have a presentation.
oh yeah, and kind of a meet you and hey, how you doing?
and I would like to have it targeted towards Lacey, her presentation, where in the past they haven't really sometimes really addressed how this benefits Lacey.
Well, I remember their one presentation. I'm not sure if they gave it to this group or, but they talked about every dollar that that came into VCB was producing an additional, I think it was $7 they had some formula that they were using to show that, you know, hey, every dollar you guys pour in, we're generating this many dollars back to you. And I remember that very specifically because I was, you know, thinking, wow, that's a lot of you know, return on investment. And I couldn't really quantify a whole lot of it as super tangible, but I wanted to, you know, to believe that. So yeah, I would be happy to see them too.
And the CTA program does point to, which is their Certified Tourism Ambassador program, does point to Lacey quite a bit. So I should also mention that I am a trainer for them. So, but that is in the coursework and the information. So if you have not taken that course, I would highly recommend that. So
Is it's still going on then?
it is going to happen. I have heard from Jeff. I have not had the new dates brought in yet, but I know that there are two. I think there are two starting in October. So yes, they are being ramped back up.
So their last ask was 80,000, right? And 20 of that was for someone else. So then their last ask was really 60,000, right?
No, so
No.
it was 80,000 for VCB and then 20,000 for the Sports Commission.
Sports
Okay,
commission.
so it was 80 and 20. They ended up with 100. And so their ask alone is another at least almost 50%, 49 and some change, in addition to their highest of any that they've ever asked.
Well, if you combine, if you just take 100,000 from last year, that's for 119. So it's gone up 19+%.
I know, but you have to take out 20 of that because that wasn't for them.
I think if you look at their proposal, they're still combining Sports Commission within the 119,000.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
All right. So their increase is a
and
little
we
over
need to
19%.
know, yeah, we need to know what the sports commission is doing. I mean, are they, I don't know.
Do we have a representative for the sports commission within the VCB? Is that how that works?
I want to say yes, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe we can get them both, or I know that 20 is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know what they do.
I think we need to know what they've been doing for the 20,000,
So we want VCB and their sports commission representative.
right?
Make sure you guys, we all understand that we're building a
Yes,
and
we are.
we're building an agenda that's going to take time to get through.
Yeah,
We're at 20 minutes right now for giving everyone 5 minutes with the 4 groups that we've asked to come in.
Okay.
but it's gonna be longer than that.
Oh, it totally is.
Okay, but we need to be prudent with our money.
For sure. Because it hasn't come easy
No,
with sanitizing rooms and all the other things that have to happen
Mhm.
to make these dollars happen. I bought an ionizer.
right,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought about it for using it for like rooms and stuff like that, but I don't know how that went across. Anyway, moving on. Our next, is it Gateway Rotary that you guys have next?
yeah, but
And
they're under,
They're on the list.
That's
They're-
correct.
so they're okay.
This
Right.
year. They're okay this year. And we are not even, we're 1, 2, 3, 4th in their sponsorship list.
Mhm.
They have a lot bigger fish that they're frying
Right.
than this one.
They're being great with their ask, you know.
Yeah, they are. Next is Brats Brews and Bands, who are saying that they can do it on half of what they did it on before.
Yeah, that and Skateway we were talking about, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Same application.
There's two on one application,
Well, so Gateway is the organization that
puts on.
does the event.
Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, let's get to the South Sound Chamber. And it looks like there we go. 20,000 for barbecue. This one is called
It's a
South-
golf.
South Sound
It's
Barbecue
golf.
Festival.
So I think
Was
it should, yeah, it should be the Golf Classic, the 2022 Golf Classic for 10,000.
Any golfers in the room?
No,
Yeah.
but I have some questions on theirs. They say they've gotten past support. They said, yes, I think. Yeah, it says yes. They haven't received money for us for this before.
Do we have any record of supplying?
They may be just responding in general that the chamber as an organization has received funds, but not for this
Sure.
specific event.
Yeah,
It says the event location's at Huntermer Park. And they're projecting 11,000 people.
no, that's the barbecue.
I think the event
Okay.
location should be golf course at Hawks Prairie. I think it got cut off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. South Sound Barbecue Festival, Huntermer Park.
So that's the next application. So the
Oh,
one-
sorry.
Yeah, so one before it is the Golf Classic.
Thank you. So, okay. Are we thinking that we want to have these guys come and talk to us about their golf classic?
Yep.
At the Hawks Prairie Golf. Thank you, Scott.
Because, okay, a couple things came to mind with that is we're paying like between a staffing and event coordinator, like $11,500 for a golf tournament. Out of a budget of 27,300, that seems to be a lot of money and they're asking for us 10,000. I don't know.
So it sounds like we want to bring them in, bring Blake in.
Like for the golf. I think they have at least 2 or 3 others on here.
Yeah, it looks like there's 3 more.
Maybe he can address the other ones that we are going to have questions on in that same conversation.
Do you have, I mean, does the committee have questions for the barbecue or for, okay, yeah. I have one for the visitor center, so yeah.
Well, and also on the Barbecue Fest and Chamber, they don't show us on number 8 of their top sources of income, and we have to be. They don't show us. And I think we talked to them about that before. But then, to be fair, they've had some turnover there.
Okay. So as long as we have Blake here, and it appears that his name is on
Mhm.
quite a few of all of it, then maybe he can address our questions at that point in time.
Right.
Let's see. Lots of pictures of food. Okay, so the next one is the $70,000 that we said we're okay with.
No,
Is that what you see?
That is the next one. I'm not necessarily just comfortable with it.
Oh, we didn't, this wasn't one that we decided to take off the table.
no.
Okay, so let's talk about this one. So this is promotion of lodging, restaurants, retail, shop, specialty foods, recreation landmarks through the Discover Lacey website, which is part and parcel of and attached to the VCB website. Is that what I'm to?
Unknown. I think it's their standalone website. I don't think it has to do with the VCB's website.
So then we have, okay,
I mean, that would be a question for Experience Olympia. But I think it's a standalone site.
it looks like, membership is their highest gross, and then event sponsorship following after that.
But they don't list us and we give them $70,000.
Right. And I guess by not putting us on there, they're not making an assumption of sponsorship of.
I think it's an oversight on all of them. I mean, they have not shown the money we give them that I can see.
And is this is consistent with what they've asked from us before?
It's the same award as 2020
Same award.
or 2021, excuse me.
And do you guys remember seeing a presentation about how the Lacey Visitor Center dollars travel, act, promote and help the city? Have you guys seen that presentation?
I feel like we did, but I feel like it was not, I feel like it was with their old executive director or the old person in charge. I feel like Ruth said, there was turnover.
Amy.
It was Amy. Yes, thank you.
Right.
And what is different is they have now cut back on their staff. There's only 2 staff people, from what I understand, and I may be not speaking correctly, but from what I understand, they only have 2 staff, and they have hired kind of an event coordinator to handle a lot of the other activities.
Okay.
We just need to have a discussion.
Are you wanted to see their organizational structure at this point and kind of
Well,
follow the money?
To make sure that the center is being covered with staffing, and I mean, how are they doing that? Are they doing it with volunteers? I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's going to put Blake in the seat for how many minutes? 20?
Mhm.
Ballpark?
And we could, yeah. And do we need to get more specific with Blake? Would it be helpful to send Nicole questions directly about that we want to know from Blake, so he has a target instead of saying, here's 3 or 4 minutes for each.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we normally do, right, Scott? We
Yeah.
tell them what we want to hear from them. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. So once we go through the applications and you agree the ones that are going to come back before you, we'll just reaffirm what questions would you like to be answered by the committee. And then we will provide those in advance so they'll be prepared.
Right.
Scott, I was going to ask you something and I can't remember what it was.
You sound like me, Malcolm.
All right, moving on. Who's next on the hot seat?
Winterfest.
Yeah, it's Winterfest. It's the last one for Blake.
Okay.
And I definitely have questions about that one because it's not even being held in Olympia. I mean, Lacey, it's held in Olympia.
An undetermined location. You might want to say undetermined location in the city of Lacey. That would have helped.
Right, right. And from what I understand is because the event space, the Red Lion or whatever it's called now, what's it called?
Hotel
Is-
RL.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've given it to them for like $200 or something, I think maybe there, anyway. So they're having it there, but if they don't commit to having it in Lacey the following year, how is that promoting Lacey? How is that bringing people? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the hotel that they mentioned was Hotel at Capitol Lake, and I think it's an
Right.
IHG property. It's a
Right.
new property with lots of meeting room space. So maybe they're gonna utilize that meeting room space. I don't know, but they did mention Hotel at Capitol Lake, which leads me to believe it's that new hotel downtown by the lake.
Oh, I think it's the Red Lion, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just,
The old governor's shack. I mean, governor's, not shack. I shouldn't say that.
it could be, it's probably the
Governor
old
House?
RL maybe, and
Okay.
it's renamed. I'm presuming, I'm not sure.
And that is not in Lacey?
No, it's downtown
Oh,
Olympia.
Yeah. That's gonna be a tough sell.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
And the reason that I was told, because I said to them after chamber meeting, is it sounds like they are doing a lot of their events not in Lacey, and that just doesn't feel right to me. But anyway, we need to hear from them.
Yeah, and especially now that, we're going to be trying to get people to, come out, be out, hang out. And I don't, we're supposed to encourage them to come out and hang out in Lacey. That'd be
Mhm.
nice. I think I'd like to see, more events in Lacey.
Right.
I don't know how we're going to, pay for events in Olympia.
Yeah,
That
I
just
agree.
seems kind of awkward.
Mhm.
Like the Polynesian Association of Thurston County, who've got their Poly Fest at the Rack. Have you guys been to that?
No, I did not get to that one.
I have. It was good. Lots of fun. I remember they
Yeah.
came to council to ask if we would, Scott, do you remember when they came and asked if we would waive the permit fee? Do you remember that ask?
I do.
I don't know if we did or not. But I do know that they put on a festival that draws a pretty good crowd to the Rack. And it also, it seems like it's like right at is it right in that baseball season kind of time?
Thought it was it October? Oh.
It's got a date of August, but
Oh, August, okay.
yeah.
I think it says May 27th.
It's, yeah, May 27th and 8th. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, am I looking at the wrong application then?
I think you are. I think you're still on Winterfest.
Oh. Well, it says Polynesian Association of Thurston County. Are you guys looking at their tax ID number 604-357-294?
No, I'm looking at 604-357-294 for Lacey Polyfest, Polynesian
Yeah.
Fest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the next one. So we do know though, we want the Winterfest to come in.
Yeah, we want Winterfest to
Yeah.
come in. That's part of Blake. That was last of one of Blake's. And
Right.
now
Okay.
we're on to the Polynesian Association,
Okay,
which is doubling or not
Right.
just shy of doubling their ask. And I think this is going to be one of those, they said it's on question number 11, is this application for new funds? Yes. Or increase funds. And I have a feeling that they checked the yes box because they weren't awarded in 2021. And so
mhm.
but there's no increase listed at number 12. So I would just like clarification and what the money is going to be used for.
Yeah, because they budgeted only $9,800. Where did I get that figure from? But yet they're asking 11,000 from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's kind of needs to be clarified. Did you guys see that too, or notice that?
I did, yes. And where we're at, just Council Member Miller, we're at 40 minutes if we're giving everyone 5 minutes to speak, just to give you a ballpark.
Okay, so we're cutting it pretty close.
And there's 2 more on the list. There's Washington Center and American Lung Association. Assuming,
What about
There's-
tomorrow?
oh, tomorrow's on there too, so that would be 3 more. I'm sorry. They're marked because I do have questions.
So are you guys at the tomorrow one? Is that where you're at now?
Yeah,
Or where you at? Okay, and it looks like they want to have a South Sound block party in Olympia?
yes.
Mhm.
Huh,
I think we can have them come and talk to us, but I'm not,
yeah,
I don't
know.
see how that benefits Lacey.
I don't either. Scott, is it possible that we could, break this into 2 meetings if we get to 60 minutes worth of stuff, worth of people, and, we chop that in half and just do 2. Are you guys okay with that? Okay, Susanna?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm thinking that might be how it ends up going.
Mhm.
Because I'd like to hear about this South Sound block party in Olympia. I'd like to have a South Sound block party in Lacey. I could go for that.
Well, and for $25,000, what's that gonna benefit Lacey?
Yeah, you get a DJ or maybe a band. Get your permit
Mhm.
fees to block it off, and
Yeah.
everybody has a great time. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, question 9 too is identify your top 5 resource. There's no revenue listed next to these. So it just, to me, the application feels incomplete. So I'd like to have the holes that are listed.
Well, they
I
don't
think-
know yet. They don't know yet, but they didn't even put projections or say it was projections.
It looks to me like they have intentions, but no real solid numbers that they wanted to put down. I think they would have been safe to put down how much they're asking each jurisdiction.
They
but
did,
didn't.
they did.
Oh.
Go down, there's Lacey lodging tax budget form. And they show sponsorships, 20,000 tickets, and then they go to the lodging tax. Do you see that?
I see the year 1.
No, it's page 196.
Got it. Applying not received.
Okay, that helps me. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
But I think we need to still find out basically what $25,000 is going to benefit Lacey. Just
Yeah,
one.
and that's a huge block party for a 182.5.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to that party yet.
No, because it hasn't happened yet.
Not sure I've been to a $180,000 party.
Yeah,
Total expenses 161.5.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
That's
I'd like to learn more.
team tomorrow. Okay. Scott, we're really coming up on the 2 different meetings for this situation.
Okay.
This block party almost.
Yeah, we're at 50 minutes and 2 left if we have Jill Barnes, because the Washington State senior games, I think we said green light for that one.
mhm.
So it looks like American Lung Association and the Washington Center for the Performing Arts are the last
Yeah.
2.
Right.
Okay. I saw the map for the block party. It's right downtown Seattle, Marine View Drive. Did I almost say Seattle?
That's downtown
Yes.
Olympia. That's the
Olympia.
water port.
Okay, you got me. I'm from Seattle. All right.
You're from Pasco.
I have a lot of family in Pasco.
Yeah.
And I went to Pasco every summer, whether I liked it or not.
Okay,
Yeah, a lot of times not. Okay, Washington Center, Joe Barnes for 30.
So it looks like it's an increase of what, 5,000 from last year?
correct.
Is the center going to be open soon?
The center's been open all along. We've never closed. We've done a lot of recording for, we have done a lot of sound studio work for all of the communities. So Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater. So we've had different dance groups and user groups use the Washington Center to record record and play back, kind of like a sound stage. And we have had 3 live performances, and starting next week, we go into, we're open and we have performances starting next week. So
How did the remodel stuff go?
the remodel, the backstage stuff is done. So phase 1 is complete, and now we are working on phase 2. We just released that capital campaign. We are 89% funded, and that work begins in July 2022 and is completed in October of 2022. So,
As visitors, we can expect a very new looking.
oh, it's gorgeous. And I will, in a different platform, I will leak those photos to you and what that new interior looks like, because yours truly heads that remodel. So I'd be happy to show everyone what the new Washington Center interior looks like. It is going to be 100% different than it is now.
We appear to be a very small percentage of the ask.
That I can't speak to. I would love to see more money, but I am not the one asking for money. So
Gotcha.
But I think to be consistent, she needs to come in and just talk to us.
Come plead your case.
Mhm.
And there's one more.
yes, there would be the American Lung Association.
Right. This is their first time with us.
Mhm.
So does anybody understand or know what exactly they do?
No, I read that. There. I'm gonna find it here.
I show page 240, Ruth, on the
Yeah.
PDF.
I read through it, but it says about Lacey, that it starts at Lacey, I think. Help me if I'm wrong. But I
That
don't
is-
know what it is.
It starts at the rack.
Oh, is that where it starts?
Yes.
It looks like they have a lot of senior games. We attempt to showcase in our local community in a variety of ways.
Do they think people, if it starts at the rack, will come and stay overnight first? Or I don't know. I just think we
Huh.
need to.
Okay, well, I guess we could dive into that to take a deeper dive with those guys. That's pretty much everybody that we're gonna get a presentation from. I guess we're gonna have to send out presentation outlines so that we can stay on track. So it looks like we're probably gonna have to break this into 2 different meetings. I know that we've gone over today, but with each person getting, 5 minutes, maybe we can, get them done in 2 one-hour sessions. Are you guys all right with that? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so then we will ask for the,
I had
And we-
until 6 o'clock held tonight, just we were asked to hold up until 6 o'clock, even though we made the appointment for an hour. Or, yeah.
you have 2 hours blocked off for this tonight?
Yeah, I had 2 hours that we were asked to hold for tonight.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to rush you away.
No, you're good, you're good.
I just,
And then it
Once
looks
you-
like we have a meeting scheduled for the 15th. And
Right.
that one also was blocked out for 2 hours from 4 to 6.
Yeah, I got that too. So maybe we could do them all. in
And
one.
then we also held the 21st from 4 until 6 o'clock as well.
So if we get them in our next meeting, I don't know, Scott, do you think that's going to be a push to try to, I mean, schedule wise, is it something that, you know, that Nicole can make happen? Like, hey, you guys can come on this day, you guys can come on that day.
Yeah, based on experience, if they're requesting dollars, they would typically have someone speak before the committee. They'll just make it work. It's kind of like a job interview.
Okay.
I feel like it's even easier because it's on Zoom. Like this time around, you're not actually leaving, you're not coming into City Hall.
Right.
So let me make sure I have the count correct. I have 12 applications or sponsors that are going to come before the committee. Is that correct? So we're going to have the Lacey Public Affairs talk about banners.
I have 12, yes. I also show 12.
Okay, so let me just go through the questions real quick if this is helpful. So Lacey Public Affairs, you just want to have a general example or additional background on what the banners would look like in terms of in the city. The RAC, you just want to know what they're going to do with the increase. And then a secondary question, how do they collaborate with VCB when it comes to tournaments?
So Scott, on the Lacey, on the banners, I think the other part of it was, you know, what are you going to be promoting?
Okay.
And I was the one who put in, hey, they're going to promote the events that we say, or that we are helping, or that we are sponsoring, or that we are greenlighting, or whatever the case may be. But that's probably not all that they're going to do. But I'm sure, you know, Shannon has some great ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the RAC, going back to justify the increase, or what will the increase be used for?
Mhm.
How do they collaborate with the VCB when it comes to bidding tournaments? Is there any additional questions with the RAC that I missed?
No,
Okay. In Capitol Lake, similar, what will the increase be used for or justify the increase? And then how will this activity promote Lacey in general?
Sounds right.
Then the VCB, there was a desire for the committee to meet the new director. And then the secondary questions would be, show us how the sports commission, show how the $20,000. I think in the application, there wasn't a dollar amount, but just, I guess, a general explanation of what the sports commission does on behalf of Lacey. And then more specifically, how do the general VCB operations promote Lacey?
Or if they have a sports commission person who would like to come
Okay,
as well.
am I missing anything with the VCB?
No, sir.
no,
Okay. Golf Classic, this is a chamber sponsored event, so why LTAC funds should be used for this event?
mhm.
South Sound Barbecue, again, justify or explain the increase or need for funds. Any more questions on those two?
Well,
Lacey,
they don't show us too. They need to show us. Is that what you said? They don't show us as one of their top.
Oh,
And question number 8.
okay, so for the barbecue, just say provide general budget.
Yeah.
Okay. For the Lacey Chamber in general, provide an overview of how the $70,000 will be spent, provide a better explanation of Discover Lacey, and then how is the visitor center operating as of now?
Mhm.
Okay. Lacey Chamber Winterfest, would like to have a deeper discussion about the location of the event, and then how does this event that is another community benefit the city of Lacey?
Being that's in Olympia.
Okay. Polyfest, I think, again, similar questions. How will the new dollars be used, or what is the justification for those new dollars?
Correct.
And then the tomorrow event, this is a new event. How does this event assist Lacey, even though the event is held in Olympia?
And give an overview of the event.
Okay. And then Washington Center, again, increase of $5,000. How will money be used? Why is the money needed? Then American Lung Association, first time event, provide an overview of the event. and justification for funds requested.
Yeah, their application seems to be tied to the senior games. How does that work?
Senior games, yeah, okay. Yeah, you are correct. I'm sorry, was not tracking.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
So linkage between senior games and American League Association.
Yeah, what's the?
So then I think the question for the committee is, do in the past, and again, this is your format, you can do however you want to do it. 5 minutes typically for each agency to answer those questions. Do you want to have 5 minutes for follow-up?
yeah.
So you'll need 10 minutes per application. So to what I think Chad mentioned, you're going to need at least a minimum of 60 minutes and then maybe a minute in between for transition.
Mhm. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do, 6 on one and 6 on another,
Sure.
because we all know that could run long, especially if, there's.
So let's assume 70 minutes for each day. So you have one on the 15th and then you have one, I think, on the 21st.
Is what I show, yes.
And then the only thing that we'd have to do, we need some amount of time, and it depends on how the committee wants to do it. Either at the end of the 21st on Tuesday, we do need some final recommendations so we can include that in the budget.
Right.
So maybe we should we? Okay,
I mean, you could add another quick meeting, like a half an hour on the 22nd or 23rd, or even maybe the 24th. That'd be kind of like the last possible date, probably. I'm looking at Troy here.
I feel like, I don't know, this is just me and Ruth. Can you chime in? I feel like I'd be ready to go on the 21st. Like I pretty much know after the presentation. Is that something, Ruth, that you feel like?
yeah, well, it depends on what, because some of these, I just really am I'm so still confused about spending so much of our tax dollars on promoting tourism. And we have to have something for them to come to do and see and do when they come here. So it just seems like we have this overlap and I can't get past that. So I don't know.
Friday
So
the 24th works great if we need to do a third meeting.
But hopefully our questions will be answered, but.
And, is it also an option that, that maybe we trim a little bit out of, I know that, what appears to be a 19% increase feels more like more than that. There's several of them that, I know we started off this meeting and Troy was saying we could, potentially fund all of this. We really could. And nobody wants to get fund back up and running as much as I do. I just don't know if I want to make sure that, if we're experiencing increases and some of them are greater than 50%, that we,
Well, we can't depend all our reserves either,
exactly.
So.
So we'll have to set some limits.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is we probably should build some time into our meeting for that as well.
So would it be the preference of the committee that we build in some time on the 15th and the 21st? So once you've gone through the 6 applications.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So maybe we just make those an hour-and-a-half meetings. Let's assume 70 minutes to get through the applicants. And then you have another 20 minutes to make a decision or deliberate.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that would give us, Susanna, would you feel good about that? And Chad, I would.
Great.
Because I think we should pretty much know by then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I am good with that. I am just moving calendar appointments around, so we are good. So I'm just moving it from a 2-hour meeting to a 90-minute meeting. I like that even better.
Okay,
Cool.
so just to confirm, our next meeting is going to be at 4 o'clock on the 15th. Starts at 4, we'll end at 5:30. And then we'll have a follow-up meeting on the 21st, which is a Tuesday. That will start at 4 o'clock and end at 5:30.
Okay,
Perfect.
Okay, does that mean we've reached the end of our agenda?
Yes.
All right.
Woo.
Unless someone has something for the good of the order. Seeing nothing, I will call this meeting adjourned and we will reconvene in 1 week's time. Same place. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
Thank you.
yeah.
Bye, everyone.